Well, hello, my darlings. Here I am again on Wednesdays with Wallace. Oh, well, it's morning cuppa with Wallace, and somewhere it'll be morning, and I've got my cuppa, and it's got the little budgerigars on it. Bloody hot. And really fabulous. And I'm so excited to be here, so excited to be sharing again. And I'm going to expand on last week. There's my honey bun, and you'll be able to see her. She's come into the picture, and she's just got home, and the dogs have gone crackers, absolutely crazy, out of their minds. She's home. So hopefully they'll be quiet for the next little while I do this video, so I don't have to scrub it and do it again, which would be a bit of a pain in the butt. Last week I talked about, or I mentioned, the quickening, and it was what was given to me, was what came to me intuitively, and what my my people, I'll call them, my others, can I work on that? Might be able to find out who they are, but don't have to. But it'd be nice if perhaps they, gave me a name to them, to themselves, to their, who they are. But anyway, last week I mentioned about the quickening, and I've called the video this week, "The Quickening Is Here." I sort of skirted around it and talked about it and said that I felt the energies of it. I felt the quickening. I felt the expansion. I felt it all, really, really moving. And this week I was listening to Pam Gregory and Lee Harris talking about, he was channeling from the Z's, but Pam Gregory initially, in the first part of it, was talking about for this next 6 months, and pardon me, what's going on in the universe, what's happening with Aquarius energy and all that. I was fascinated. I was absolutely glued to the screen because it's just amazing. It's just absolutely amazing and spectacular what is going on and what we are being told, and the new technologies and all the things that are unfolding. And I'll just briefly touch on that because I want to also do 3 readings today while I'm going to have this little chat. Not going to be a long video, probably about 20-25 minutes. And I just wanted to touch on the fact that I had mentioned about the quickening, and that's exactly what is going on. That's exactly what was told to me, and I just love it when a plan comes together, I call it, when everything comes together and, my arm, when everything comes together and we see it all unfolding and the information being backed up in other quarters and other areas and all that sort of thing. And it's nice to have that type of confirmation. So what Pam Gregory was talking about, and the Z's were answering Pam Gregory's questions. And that was basically to back up what she had seen in the movement of the planets and in the universe and in the whole vision of it. And that vision she saw, and the research that she's been doing, was about emerging islands or emerging land masses. We won't call them islands, but we'll call them land masses, new emerging land masses, people moving to those very pure land masses when they emerge, because they'll be pure, and all the movement under the water and under the sea, and we don't know what's down there, do we, darlings? And all of that, what was found under the pyramids, way down, way down, was all those columns and all that whole area under the pyramids, which says that there was a far superior race of people, or there is a far superior group of people that have walked the earth and still do, and that we also would be seeing more of that as well. We'd be seeing more, and I think Sterling talks about that as well. He's been talking about that for ages, that we would see, non-physical entities, and we would see extraterrestrials, and we would see more of that as time goes on. And we will, absolutely we will. Trying to keep my hat on it before it falls off. So Pam Gregory was talking about those things. She was talking about how they had detected all these things and how they're detecting all these things, the type of technology that's emerging, the magnetic fields, the whole magnetic area, which is going to replace the energy as we know it that runs our houses and all that, the whole, burning of coal and the whole electrical thing, and even wind farms. Everything's going to be replaced with everything is going to be replaced with magnetic fields and magnetic energy. And I think if we stop, I don't know about you, darlings, but I think if we stop, we can feel that already, can't we? Those of us that are, allowing, not, sort of blocking ourselves. And don't block yourself off from anything. And that was what the Z's was saying, was about being very open, and allowing to, what's coming. And by doing that, my interpretation of it is that by doing that, by being open and allowing and being more receptive, being more allowing it all in, allowing the possibilities, by doing that, it'll be easier. Things will be easier for us. And it's not that these aren't tumultuous times and that this isn't, all that sort of, we're the, Fakawi tribe. You'll know that, darling. Decipher that. So it's like it'll be easier. We'll have an easier time of it if we allow. If we allow it all to flow, if we allow it into our lives, if we allow it to flow, if we allow ourselves to be open, I think that, you know what life's like, darlings, when you push back. I mean, we all know that. We all know how that is, don't we? I mean, when we were first moving into the house here and all the stuff that had gone on for the previous months and everything, when I think about it, my energies get clogged. It was all so heavy. It was all such a difficult time. And it was such a difficult time because there was so much push back against all that was going on, all that was taking place, all that was flowing, wasn't being allowed to flow. Because I was pushing back against it. I was angry, I was upset, I was frustrated, my mind was a mess, darlings, and I was really, really pushing back against it. So in that way, I can vouch for this whole idea of, or concept of, don't get into the pushback, just go with the flow with it. And that's difficult, darlings. It's not easy. I mean, it is a difficult thing. It's it's a real difficult thing to be pushing, to just be open and not push, not want to, control, not want to, put things in place, not want to, be hurt and upset and angry and pissed off and, all that sort of stuff that puts us in a position where immediately we feel all that we've pushed back. So I guess that applies to our world and all the turmoil that's going on right now. Don't push back against it. Certainly be, be active, and certainly take action in ways that are positive, but don't get into being angry and upset and pissed off at the whole thing and pushing, because all that's pushback. And when you get into that, things become more difficult. They simply just do. And, that's a given. What you focus on multiplies. It's a given. And I've proved that so many times in my own life, and certainly in the last 18 months, that's been the case with me. It's been a very, very, tumultuous time, and a time of, pushback. So I'm certainly wanting myself to be in a space and a place of being more open, being more allowing, being more receptive. And even if it's a bit of a stretch, sometimes, darlings, isn't it? I mean, when we know things or we come across things or our understandings are expanding, we can, that's where our pushback can, come into play, can't it? Itchy eye. That's where our pushback can come into play, because we don't understand it. So we put up a wall, we put up a blockade, we put up, we basically almost put up our hands like, whoa, Nettie, whoa. I don't understand this. No, it's too much for me. And it can well be that, can be too much. But I think the more helpful approach to it is, at this time, I don't understand it. At this time, it's a bit of a struggle, but I'm open and allowing to learning. I'm open and allowing and receptive to taking that in and seeing where it fits. And it's like everything. If it doesn't fit right now, it doesn't. Don't give it air. If it doesn't fit, don't give it air. But if it sort of does, but you're struggling, well, then just be open and allowing to that making sense to you at some time. Because as sure as there's a crack and the light's coming through the crack, it will shed light on the darkness on the other side of that. It will. It just will, because that's the way it all works. So go with that, will you, darlings? Go with that. So Pam talked about all sorts of things. It's worth going and taking a look at that. We're hoping at some time we're wanting to invite Pam onto our show, Judith and I, onto the show at the weekend, and more people. As you know, we had Dr. Lena on last week on the show, and it was fabulous. It was absolutely fabulous. And I do apologise. I do, for talking over top of her. I do apologise for, being overzealous and overexcited about having her on, and and thinking that she was finished talking and I was, in. You know, but we'll get better. We'll get better. It's I do apologise for those times, and but we're learning and we'll get better. And I certainly am, because I like to go back over things and go, oh, oops, oops. But anyway, thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being there for us. thank you for all of the, the new subscriptions. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, subscribe, because it sure does help us. Subscribe and like, because those things really help us get through to higher numbers. We have this big audacious goal of being, getting 100,000 subscribers. We're nowhere near it at the moment, but we did have a fabulous, we had fabulous input and some increased numbers from last week's video, and that gave me great heart. It really put pep in my step. I felt really good about that. So more of it, more of that would be fantastic. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit the button and subscribe. And I've done it myself, darling. I have shows that I go on to and I just forget to subscribe to them. But I know that even though you get, you know, I don't know, you get them telling you that the show's up or on or whatever, it's still worthwhile for the people. And, I know that I do, and I know that those people put in a huge amount of effort. So much work goes on behind the scenes, and so much work goes on to bring these shows to fruition and to, put ourselves on the air. And it's time and effort. And it's, don't think for 1 minute that, we're all earning, mega dollars from, being on YouTube. As I keep saying, it wouldn't keep a sick canary in seed. We don't. It doesn't certainly cover the costs of what, what it costs us here. What we earn doesn't go anywhere near covering the cost of actually doing it. So, yeah, we certainly aren't making any money. But there may come a time when we do, and that would be fabulous. That would be fantastic, getting paid for our time. Still drinking my tea. I hope you're drinking yours. Now, I had my book here for things. Pam Gregory said a whole lot more things. I'd like you to go and have a look at that. It's a prediction for the next 6 months on with her and Lee Harris, and it's worth watching. So if you haven't watched it, go and watch it, and you'll hear some pretty amazing and fabulous things, and the technology that's opening up and the things that are coming. Okay, the World card and the Seven of Pentacles. I'm going to leave those out, and I'm going to add another card over top of that. Now, who am I reading for? I'm reading for Patricia Allen. So Patricia, a couple of cards fell out while I was shuffling. Straight away, the universe said, pull these out. These are, these are relevant. Okay, so what's going on with Patricia Allen? There were a couple of things came out first when the cards fell out, and cards are falling out all over the place. Okay, let me just pull out another card, but I'm asking Spirit, guides and angels, what's going on with Patricia Allen? Couple of nice cards here, Patricia, for you, darling. I'm going to show those to you in a minute, but I do want to just bring out one more card onto the top of these. Okay, all right. Okay, there's an issue going on around you. We're going to go with the Eight of Swords here. Okay, darlings, here we go. Eight of Swords. Can you see it? Eight of Swords. This is struggle and strife, I'm going to call it. That's my struggle and strife card. Struggle. You're feeling bound up in it. You're feeling like, you're feeling a bit like this person here who's blindfolded, and they've got the, metaphorically, they've got, the person behind them, ready to chop their head off because there's so much in their head. Get rid of me head, I'll get rid of all this rubbish. So that's what's going on with you. I get that. You've got stuff going on and you've gotten into your head on it, and you just can't quite work it out. You've gotten yourself all tied up in knots. And I'm getting that it's around money. I'm going with the Pentacles card, the Seven of Pentacles, being that, this fellow here, this Seven of Pentacles, he's out there and he's, mining really. He's, wanting to uncover the money. So whatever's going on around you, you're getting in your head around a money situation. But I want to tell you that the outcome is a good outcome, because the World card is one of those wonderful, wonderful cards that gives you the unfolding of allowing. Now, this whole thing about allowing that I've been going on with today is very applicable to this, okay? It's very, very applicable to this. So I want you, whatever's going on around you, I want you to allow it to just subside, okay? I want you to allow it to just fizzle. Does that make sense? I want you to allow the whole thing to fizzle out, because you're holding it in, and by holding it in and holding on to it, you're exacerbating it. You're giving it energy, you're giving it life, and you're giving it life, you're giving it presence. So let go, darling. Okay, hope that makes sense. I don't know, just all comes out. I give it to you as it comes. Not sure what that means. Okay, Tobias Star. Okay, what's going on with Tobias Star? Well, a fantastic name. Is that your name? Is there something there for you? Two of Swords came out, darling, so I'm going to put it down. A lot of head stuff going on with you guys. A lot of head stuff. Tobias, what I'm getting. Okay, what am I getting? What's the universe giving me? Let's ask spirit guides and angels. What's going on with Tobias? Well, the first card that fell out first was the Two of Swords. And what that immediately said to me was, you've got this decision going on, not sure which way to go, and think around it. Well, I'm going to apply the same thing to you, darling. I'm going to say, first of all, let go, because there's got to be an allowing of an intuitive outcome to this. That's what they're giving me. Tell him, her, there's intuitiveness to be applied. Get out of the head. Too much head stuff, too much. Will I, won't I, will I, won't I, will I, won't I, will I, won't I, won't I, will I. Okay. What else? What else, Tobias? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. What's it saying? Okay. Ace of Wands. Okay, I'm going with the Ace of Wands, and I'm going with the blank card. So the Ace of Wands says to me, new growth. So this here is an opportunity. There's some things going on. You have to make a choice, or you want to make a choice around it. And it does involve, what am I getting? Moving? Are you moving? Or are you thinking about moving? Or is there something going on around you could move? If you move, you feel like, if you did move, if you did do this, there's potential and new and wonderful things to be had with it. This is the Ace of Wands. This is the card of growth, the card of new growth. And the blank card says to me that you have to fill it in for yourself, darling. You have to fill this in, Tobias. Whoever that is, if that's your name or what, I don't know, so I don't want to keep calling you Tobias. It may not be, it may be just something that you put together for your handle, but whoever you are, you get to choose. Okay, you get to choose. Choose from your intuitive. Don't do it from the head banging stuff. Don't do it from that. That's what they're telling me. Tell them not to get into work from their intuitive. If they're on your show, if they're there, they're they have a tendency, at least they understand and know about intuition. So intuitiveness. Okay, Gail Kearney. Gail. Okay, what's going on for Gail? Let's ask spirit, the universe, spirit guides, angels, archangels. So archangels have come in. Okay, all right, let me go with the archangels. I'm going to do the cards and pull an archangel card for you because the archangels came in on this. So there's okay, well, so there's an archangel sitting over it. I'll pull that out in a minute. I'm getting Ariel, the archangel Ariel, and I'm going to pull that out in a minute and have a look at it and see what it says and see if it works in with the cards that I'll pull. So we won't do the pulling out of the card of Ariel yet, but we will go with this first. So, okay. Okay. All right, family, something around family. We've got something going on around family. Four of Swords. This here is, there's a whole lot of thinking, a whole lot of stuff going on around family. What's going on around your family and money? Family and money. I'm getting a little bit shortage of money. So I want you to allow on that one. And I'm going to look for I'm going to look for oh, okay. I'm going to shuffle these. Ariel was the one that was coming. And I don't know whether I have. These are angel therapy cards. Okay, all right. I get Ariel, so if you want to go off and check on who Ariel is and what Ariel means, I'm going to shuffle these cards over top of the thing with the money and family. So there's a thing around family and money. Allowing. Yeah, the allowing thing today was, gosh, wasn't that perfect? And the quickening. And the quickening is all about allowing for the understanding, allowing for the knowledge, allowing for the change, allowing for the information, all of that. Are you getting that, Gail? Because all of that applies to you, darling. And it applies to those others that I drew cards for as well. But I'm going to, because the Archangel came in, I'm sure it was Ariel, but I haven't got, and I have, but it would take me too long to rustle that up. The card, Ariel, Archangel Ariel. Okay, all right. Okay, books. Books came. Your life purpose involves writing, reading, editing, or selling spiritual based books. That's what I've drawn for you. Be interesting to see what Ariel means, the Archangel Ariel. And whether that dovetails into that. I want you to just go online and just put in Archangel Ariel and information will come up. but there's this thing going on around you with family and this whole thinking thing. And is it all about pursuing your passion and allowing? Is that what it's about? Okay, all right. I'm going to put those away, and I'm going to put these angel therapy cards away. Very interesting, that for you, darlings. Now, right, ending with a little bit of housekeeping. As I said, if you like what we do, if you like the show, please subscribe so we can get to that eventually, to the big audacious goal of 100,000 subscribers. I hope you've enjoyed this bit of information today. It was more informational. It was a little touch on what's coming, what's happening, what's going on, but I'm suggesting and I'm urging you in the direction of some of those other people who have got some really fabulous information for you. And I'm all about sharing. I'm all about going, if that's what I get, then, let you know about that. I love you. I care about you. I look forward to seeing you on the weekend with Judith and I. We don't have a guest this week, but we'll be on and you'll see us this weekend. Psychic twins, and we've got a big show because we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of cards to be drawn, a lot of things going on. So that'll be a fairly full packed, show for the weekend. Enjoy your week. Have the best time. Look after yourself. Take care, and I'll see you next week on Morning Cuppa with Wallace. I go with you when you go, and when I go in my heart, you go with me. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.